What's up? What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. Antoine. My sister, Nina, the original party girl, is in the building.
You down with OPG?
She got snowflakes going on. She got Santa Claus going on. But check out my shirt, though.
I know. I was getting ready to cry.
Hey.
Yeah, my poppy. Way to represent. Give me that
Yo,
back.
I am super. I am. And you got a microphone. Like, I'm really, like, come on, Nina. You killing
I'm
me.
gonna forget I got this and lay it down somewhere in here. And you be like, no, that's a
You
trick.
got snowflakes going on. Hey, I'm super excited for tonight's show, man. First of all, just a couple of housekeeping things. First of all, rest in peace to my uncle Peanut. That's first and foremost. I
Rest
lost my
in peace,
uncle,
Uncle Peanut.
and if you over the last 5 or 6 years have listened to any episodes of Baltimore Flavor Radio, you probably heard me mention my uncle Peanut. He passed away last Tuesday, man. So the family is going through, but we're good. And to for him to not be suffering in sickness the way that he has been for the last few months is actually a good thing, man. But rest in peace to my uncle. Prayers out to all of his kids and just the family in general. I also want to send a shout out or a rest in peace to Ecstasy from Houdini, legendary hip hop
Yeah.
group that passed away today. That was definitely sad to hear. I know everybody and their mamas has danced to or played The Freaks Come Out at Night or one of them Houdini songs at least one or two times. So definitely a loss to the hip hop community. But man, we are coming up on Christmas time, man. Just 2 days away. I can't believe it because I've been in the house. It seems like for about 9 or 10 months now, and this COVID thing, man, is just it's knocked us all down. But believe it or not, we've actually made it through this year. I do know a few people who have had the coronavirus, and unfortunately, I know the families of some people that have passed away due to the coronavirus. And we had a great conversation about it last week. It was really good. It was really informative, and I know Nina, you're still dealing with stuff with your dad and everything. So continue prayers to Papa Dow and all of that good stuff.
Daddy O, Daddy O.
So shout
Oh,
out
Daddy.
shout out to my man DJ Joe Storm, who I see is working in the background diligently to make sure
I'm like fighting on him and stuff. I
to
can't see Melba. I can't see.
make sure that everything is right, man. But I just want to wish everybody happy birthday. I'll say happy birthday,
Happy holidays. I got you.
happy holiday.
Happy
And
holidays. Happy
without
whatever
further
doesn't offend you.
without further ado, man, like Nina, we've been doing this together on and off for a while. Yeah, we've been doing this for a minute. We've done the high five thing and we've done some stuff in house music and all of that. But like I am super duper ecstatic tonight to bring in a legend, like a legend. And she might
Legend.
not like that title, but she's gonna get that title all night tonight because she is truly a legend. And I'm just so happy. Not only that she's still around in 2020 and doing her thing, but that she thought it not robbery to hop in and spend a little time with us this evening. So without further ado, we are going to bring in, oh yeah, Miss Melba Moore. How
Miss
are
Melba
you?
Moore.
Can you hear me?
Welcome. Yes, we can hear you.
Glad to be with you. Merry
Glad to
Christmas.
be with you as well. Thank you,
How's
thank
you?
you, thank you so much for coming and spending some time with us. First and foremost, how are you doing?
Well,
And
I'm very.
and how is your family doing during
Thank
this crazy pandemic that we're still
you.
going?
I was listening to your wishes of rest in peace, and I join you in that. And I feel very fortunate that all of the close members of my family have been healthy and safe. But there have been some friends that have passed, and um, it's really hard to take. So um, I join you in the sorrow that we just can't help experiencing as well.
Absolutely. It's been like 2020, like I don't think it can get out of here fast enough for the majority of people. But the thing that I'm trying to get people to understand that as 2020 leaves and 2021 comes in, we're still going to be going through this.
Well, it promises to get worse. I'm not being
Yes.
the bearer of bad news. I'm just saying those of us who have to hold up the bloodstained banner, you got to stay and get strong. You don't
Yeah,
have to stay here. So
absolutely. But fortunately, you and your family, for the most part, are doing well and have been
very well. As a matter of fact, we thought that somebody might have been exposed to it. So everybody got tested today, and thank God we're all testing negative. So I'm not, but we can't get complacent.
absolutely. We definitely can't. We definitely can't. I really like. I kind of grew up on a little bit of your music. My aunts and uncles back in those days when we used to have those summertime cookouts, and we used to, hang and all of the adults would be in the house doing the adult things, and the kids were outside and actually running around and having a good time instead of sitting up on video games all the time. I remember coming up on some of your music, but I wanna start with you, Miss Moore, if it's okay. Just talking about your beginnings in the music, because we definitely do our research here on Access Brandon. So I know that
you show me where you want to start. I'm happy to go wherever you want to go.
Me, when I talk to artists, I always like to get their business sense, and I know that early in your career, you really weren't up on a lot of the business things. So a lot of the stuff that you went through early in your career from a business standpoint didn't go your way. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I think that's an excellent place to start, because sometimes we think because we're artists, we're not a product. But we are the product.
Yeah. Right.
And if you're a singer, you physically really actually are the instrument, the product. And if the product doesn't have a business or a financial or a plan, then the product is not going to sell. If it does, it's not going to stay there. There's no roadmap. So you keep falling off. You don't know where Main Street is.
Yeah. And
you have to have two. I don't think you can always be two sides of one coin, because like to be an artist, sometimes they say you only use one side of your brain. I don't know if that's true or not, but but I know that business skills and talents are very, 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 very different in one sense. But if you're a human being and you belong to a family, I'm finding out now in the latter day, it's the same. You have to have a roof over your head. You have to have food. You have to have basic things that you need to live first. And then you have to figure out, well, how am I going to do that? Usually you do, somebody does that for you as a child, right? But what I find is that, especially in artistic or music families, nobody ever discusses, well, how are you going to make a living? They say that it's hard. They complain about it, but they don't really teach you what it is. And it's common to anybody that's alive. If you are alive, you need to have a business plan, because you need to have a roof over your head. You need to eat. So that's what I kind of know now. And I understand, okay, just because you're an artist, you better know that even more. And it's not, people say, well, did this happen? And things seem to be coincidental or accidental. But the people that know the plan, they stay.
Yeah. We have a group called Drew Hill that you may have heard of. That's from here in Baltimore, where Nina and I are from. And I remember years ago, back when they first started, I met a member of the group. His name was Jazz. And I specifically remember having a conversation with him. And this was like right around the time that, like, not even the first album, but maybe the first single had dropped, Tell Me. And the one thing that he talked about in that conversation was the fact that people on the outside of the business, they kind of feel like, okay, so you have this song that's being played on the radio, so now all of a sudden you're a multi-millionaire. Like, we can come to you and we can do so on and so forth. And honestly, not to put his business out there, but he at that time had just had a child, and said that even though, you see us on BET, you see us on MTV, we got this album get ready to drop. Like, I'm struggling just to put Pampers on my kid right now. And I want you to talk a little bit about that misconception that we, the public, we outside of the industry don't really understand, because like there are people that have been in the industry and dropped 2 and 3 albums and are still living in their parents' basement because they are not getting, the proper money that they're supposed to receive. And people just don't realize the struggle that you all go through, especially early on in your career.
Well, yes, because we're not told that we have to figure out where's the financial backing coming from. If a record is played on the radio, somebody pays for that. It's called marketing.
Yeah.
So if you want to, I guess, promote yourself, these days it's easier to do that. You have the internet, and if you can get the following yourself, and you can raise the money yourself to get it put on different formats, then you have a record that people hear. But nobody tells you how the record gets on the radio. Somebody has to do that. And traditionally, the record company did that. They had a sales department. They had a marketing department. They had a promotion department. They have all these different. It's a company. It's a business. But the thing that we kind of, I guess, help you get a misconception too is the artist is only seen doing their work, and I'm talking with you now honestly, but especially back in the day, especially Black radio, they didn't speak, they didn't talk, they didn't converse, they just played the music, and instead of few hip things along with it, then the lingo kind of developed, and now we have talk radio, and everybody's talking, but nobody talked, nobody communicated, nobody explained anything to you. We just said, how many records we got, where we're going to be playing, or what's going to be your next record. We didn't talk about any of that. So it's not your fault that you don't know.
Right. So when did it get to a point for you, business wise, as far as just the music is concerned? Because I know that you've done other things outside of music, but when did it get to a point for you music wise where you kind of started to understand the business a little bit better and was able to kind of tread through the industry a little easier?
Well, I had lost my career for the first time after I'd done my Broadway experiences, which were my first play was the Broadway musical Hair. The second was Pearly, which I got a Toni Award for, and then I had some agents and people come into my career because they were booking me on the top TV shows and the top. I had a recording offer at the time, and somebody had to negotiate these things. So, but I really didn't know what they were doing, so I lost that. But I inadvertently met my then husband. We're not married now, and we were trying to figure out, well, how do you get started again? But he's gifted at business, so he had some ideas, and he all his colleagues and friends were in some kind of business. He was in real estate. He was a musician before. He's been a booking agent before, and he likes and he's good at business. So we didn't really know. I mean, he's not trained at it, but he's just good at it. And that's typical of a lot of Black males that come from the South, especially, and they don't want to work in the cotton fields because in some cases, if they stay in certain parts of the South, they don't have to go to school. They can work in the cotton fields. It's almost like extended slavery. There's not an incentive to get an education and move on in some areas. So he came up north and he, started his own little rogue business, as I'm sure, because he was only about 13 when he came up. I'm telling this story because it's very typical of a lot of African American, especially male. And they have this energy and they want to be somebody and they're aggressive and assertive. And in this case, he was creative. So he did a lot of things and he met some people. I don't know his whole business history, but by the time I met him and he was in his early 20s, he was already in real estate.
Wow.
So he was precocious. He was gifted.
Wow.
I mean, just like I was singing and everything, I lost it, but the talent was there. So now between the two of us, he started to try to get me a manager, and he went to the major um, artist managers in the industry, especially if they had somebody black before, and they all told him I couldn't do R&B music because my experience had come in Broadway, and that was considered white. Okay. But everything they said that I couldn't do, I had already done. So we didn't really listen to that. And we started to say, okay, well, let's see who we can get to manage you that will take advantage of what you've already done. So to make a long story a little shorter, and most managers have a stable of artists. What we did was get a stable of managers in all these different areas because I had already done theater. I started the industry as a backup singer in studio works, studio singing and jingles. So I was already in the record industry, but they didn't know that I wasn't famous at that, so they said I couldn't do it. So the thing that we did was got people who went out and got me back into the theater industry. The next play that I did with my then husband and me was Timbuktu, playing opposite Eartha Kitt, with Jeffrey Holder doing the direction and the costuming. So it was very opulent. It was great, great, great. And then because my husband was from the South and black and male, he said, you need to be in R&B recording music. And so we started finding people that were actually a gentleman by the name of Jim Tyrell used to be a bass player as a studio musician. I worked a lot with him, but we hired him as one of our executives. So he wasn't going to say I couldn't do it because he was there with me when I did it. And he was black, so he wasn't going to say what my history was because he was white and thought he knew and didn't know. So I don't know if I'm making any sense to you, but we didn't know what to do, but we tried to figure out what we had, and we were creative. We were willing to try. I'll put it that way, because at the time, we really didn't know. We tried to get what everybody else had got, but they all said no. So we said, well, we're not going to just sit here. Let's see if we can do something. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
So the Broadway came actually before the music then.
Well, the Broadway success came first.
Okay.
So everybody thought they knew me because I was very famous for my Broadway background. And they said what I couldn't do. I started out in the music industry with Valerie Simpson and Nick Ashford doing studio work. So I could do it. But
so I was very, very excited when you came on. So he was like, here she is, go. I would like to take it back one step. Hi, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
And happy holidays to you and yours.
Thank you.
When people, I have some Melba Moore. Like when I was thinking, I was like, that was not my mother's music. That was my aunt and uncle. So when you said that, that was perfect. I had enough that I could sing along with you. But in introducing you, I don't think we got the whole picture. So if we're going to act like I'm talking to my daughter, how would you describe, what would be your intro? How would you introduce yourself?
Uh-oh.
You've done a lot.
It's only
I never introduced myself because I have to tell you what you need to hear, and I don't know what you need to hear. But you kind of just told me. Okay. Maybe I'll start this way, something kind of general. Come from a musical family in terms of my DNA. My natural father never married my mother, but he was a very famous band leader by the name of Teddy Hill. So it's in my genes. My mother was a professional singer, so it's in my genes. She married a piano player, and they fell in love, but they also worked together. So when they got married, before that, I lived with my invalid grandmother. She didn't speak, so I don't really know my family history. So the family was broken, and of course, since I didn't have any siblings or anybody around, there was no music. My mother was away singing and trying to raise money to take care of her family. So I was raised by a nanny or a governess. But she was from the backwoods of South Carolina. So that's kind of how I was. anyway, she kind of trained me for the role that I played of Lutie Bell Augusta Mae Jenkins that got me the Toni Award.
Whoa.
So I wasn't formally trained, but I was an American. What can I say?
So did you sing at 3 years old, like your mom singing? Is it a
No,
singing house?
no.
Okay, when did you start singing or recognizing that you even had a talent?
After she married my stepfather, there was music in the house then.
That's how you got onto the piano?
Yeah, he had a daughter and a son. Later on, we had two more brothers. So I have two half brothers and a stepsister and a step brother, and we all took piano lessons. Daddy made us all take piano lessons. So then we began to study music, but it was also the centerpiece of our lives because they were musicians.
Nice.
So then not only was it in my DNA, I was saturated with it, and of course I fell in love with it. That was my beginning. I was hooked. Then Daddy said, "You got to get a real job." So I taught music, vocal music in the public schools for 2 or 3 years. So I'm a teacher of it, and I'm gifted as a teacher. And I love people, and I love exchanging, our souls and spirits and our feelings.
I
And
can feel it.
and I love sharing. If I and of course now I'm a senior now, so I have kind of a mentoring spirit. I like that.
And you got singing, you got Broadway, you got
Yeah.
actress,
Yeah,
you got teacher,
yeah,
you got beautiful, powerful Black woman full of soul.
right.
What else you got? Because I'm missing stuff. What did I miss?
I think you got it all right there, except that it's continuing to develop. All I need to do right now is just keep repeating the same thing.
Okay.
I feel.
I feel
But
that.
now that I know some more of the business aspect of it, it won't be so haphazard and scattered. There will be order to it because I know what the order of things are now, and I'll make some money.
Right. I'm going there. Thanks. I'm going right there.
Okay.
At what age-ish were you, or what point in your career did you realize, hey, I'm something and now I'm profitable? I'm making money. I'm gonna back it up. I'm sorry. Did you have a best friend before you got to be all of you?
Oh yes, I did, and I think because I think God gave me that because I started out so broken and introverted and shut down, and it's very difficult to be a performer. And although a lot of performers are that, but I mean to be a healthy one and be naturally outgoing, and I was not that. But especially in college, I had a friend by the name of Inez McClendon was her married name, and she was so wonderful. I couldn't speak really. You'd just be shut down and solemn and depressed and suppressed and oppressed. So she would speak to me, and eventually, and I would say, yeah. Well, and she was very, very. She just recently passed away of probably COVID. She had pneumonia. It was probably that. And her birthday was not too long ago. And just out of the blue, I called her. Say, "I love you, Inez. How you doing?" And so we've remained close and friends like that. And of course now I'm well now. I'm whole now, but I wasn't then, and I was depressed. It could have become suicidal. But people,
may I ask that? I said, where did your broken come from? May I ask that?
It came from my upbringing.
Living in a house full of musicians.
No.
That sounds not bad.
No. Before that.
Oh, gotcha.
Before that, the lady that raised me, I think back in those days we would not have called it abusive, but she was, you hit before you ask.
Right.
She was orphaned. She was illiterate.
She was broken.
She was broken.
So she had to break some more. Hurt people.
Well, it didn't seem like it was hurting to her. I don't think so. And I think, as I can look back and tell you that now, but that I didn't feel like I was that. I didn't know that I was sad. I didn't know. You know how kids are. They keep coming back anyway until you slap them back down again.
Right. Right. Then you forget what you got slapped for and you do it again.
Well, it's not even not so much. You just after a while you don't realize it, but you're like a little puppy. You start
Right.
flinching before anybody even tries to hurt you.
So I had people that I spoke with and growing up, and I still dream out loud. So as you're growing up, you have wishes. Was one of them to be what you became? I want to be an internationally known singer. Was any of what you're doing a part of your dreams before?
That's such an incredible question because I run into people that I taught in public school, and they tell me that's what I did. They said I was going to be a star. I'm not going to be in this classroom forever. They said I said that. I don't remember saying that. So it must have been so much a part of me. And then if a person is shut down and they're not really in touch with their whole personality, sometimes the dream just takes over.
Nice.
When I say take over, I mean I don't think you always know what you're saying or doing.
I think we're being more aware of that in today's time, being careful what you speak or speaking intentionally because it might just happen. So that could be.
Well, part of it is back in those days, we didn't have Black people on the radio talking and thinking, rehearsing being alive with each other.
Rehearsing being alive with you.
Wow.
That's deep.
Rehearsing being alive with each other. Wow.
Yeah. So did you get to a point where you say, hey, I have more than extra money? Like I can buy whatever I want and what
Oh,
was
yeah. Yeah.
What'd you buy when you realized you had some money?
I bought a lot of shoes.
Shoes. All colors, same shoes.
I remember my husband had a Cadillac Seville stretch small, because I'm a small person, limo made for me.
Oh, now that's nice. That's nice.
I'll give you an example. We had money.
That's money. I couldn't think of, well, I'll do shoes. When I get there, I'll remember you and I'll buy a pair of
shoes, right?
Right, a shoe.
That's incredible questions,
Thank you. Now that's an honor. Record that, rewind it, and save it, Twan.
Got that. We'll put that on the list. But
So
I wanna go back a little bit to Broadway because that was the one thing that I didn't know about you.
Right.
And one thing I learned is that you were, and I don't know if this was as significant back then as it is now, or if it was more significant then than it is now, but you were the first Black woman to replace a white woman in a role on Broadway.
It's probably very significant now, but it was unheard of then.
Right. When I saw that, I was like, and I was thinking about the time that happened, and I was like, honestly, I didn't even know that they had Black people on Broadway back then. Better yet, having
it was in the Broadway show Hair. Now that's a hair about hippies. That's white people. So why would we be going to see a show like that? Right. Very few people came to see that show. Most Black people discovered me, if they discovered me at all, on Broadway in Pearly because it was a Black show. It was a show about a pastor trying to get his church back. Now that's Black. And because Sherman Hemsley, so he was one of the stars of it. It was hilarious. We like to laugh and we're funny. We know we're creative, and joyful. Let me put it that way.
I found out that you worked with Sherman and with Miguel Guillaume on that set, and I was like, man, it was probably just nothing but like, I don't know how you made it through the rehearsals.
It was hard. I was always in tears laughing, always.
And my wife was looking at me like, who's that? That's George Jefferson and Benson.
Right.
Like,
right.
Almost set. That's
he's got some other characters, but we really know him as George Jefferson.
Right.
So what does Broadway look like? I'm sorry, Twan. Does
go
Broadway look like you get up at a certain time of day every day and go to what does Broadway? I'm a little girl. I want to do Broadway. What's that?
Yes, you do it. It goes usually from Tuesday night through Sunday with a Saturday and Sunday matinee, and then Monday it's darker. You don't have shows on Monday. You're off on Monday, but every other day
you're off. Do you go home, or is it somewhere on a set that you Where do you live when you're on Broadway?
You live at your house.
You live at your house. Okay. See, I've never
Yeah,
been.
no problem.
So that's it. So as a little girl, someone that wants to enter the business, which is a little tricky because you got pieces to your business, what kind of advice would you offer a young woman that wants to be in the industry and follow your career path?
First of all, today you have the internet, and you can research and Google anything you want to know, any question that you might want to have, and they will tell you different places that you can go and get information. But sometimes, especially Afrocentric people may not have a computer. So I would say, if you're young enough, ask your family members or parents, um, depending on which talent you have. I guess we're assuming it's singing, but it might be something else. And um, then I would always, well, I'm a born again Christian, so I think it's church's responsibility to provide you with some support and answers. And if they don't have a choir, you start one. If they don't have any dance programs, start one. But you go to your community first and try to get some experience. If you can study a craft, you should take dance. Even if you're not going to dance, take dance lessons because it helps you breathe and stand and be healthy and be strong and gives oxygen to your brain so you think. Any kind of athletics is good, whether you're going to do that professionally or not. If you're going to sing, try to get some singing lessons so that you can understand how your voice functions. You might already have a style. Some people are born with it. Some people, everybody has some kind of a style. I don't mean that they are R&B or something like that. Like Nina, I know your voice because it sounds a certain way.
But it doesn't sing though. It doesn't sing like it talks. I'm just warning you.
Yeah, but I'm saying just the sound of your voice, if it's speaking or singing or whatever, and if it's someone that's singing, they already have a sound or something that would let you know, oh, this is such and such. But so you have to learn who that is and how that functions. Maybe you try singing along with different kinds of music to see what you like or what you're suitable for. But start to explore first.
What's
And
my style?
yeah, because
So
you won't have to develop a style because people say that they don't want to be pigeonholed or categorized. But you have to go in column A or column B. You have to go somewhere. It doesn't mean that you have to sound like everybody else or you have to even really do that well, but it's a place to start to see what you might be good at and maybe what you might start to focus on and develop as. In general, I would say if you can study classical music because it's just good technique. Um, Learn how to read music if you can, because once again, it's like anything else. If you develop a technique, then you develop a system or a format of rehearsing and preparing and getting better at what you do. Even if you don't do it professional, it's good for your mind and your life, or
Right.
to order your own life. There's just a lot of different ways, places you can start to get information. I said, get information. That's what I'm trying to say. I
You
think.
said get information, resources,
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
to people around you, practice and train, develop your style or your niche, and pray. That's what you said.
Thank you.
I got you. I got you there.
so you mentioned the internet, and that long list of stuff that you gave. How have you been able to adjust to the music business 2020, whereas now you can literally receive a track via email from your producer, where you can actually drop a track, at 10 o'clock, and half of the world will receive it. How have you been able to adapt, and do you like this new way of the music business going on?
I absolutely adore it. And the last time I lost my career, my marriage, my family, everything was in early 90s. And when that happened, internet was in existence, but just really kind of. And since I didn't have anything better to do, I started to try to understand the internet. And I have a partner that's been with me now over 15 years, and he's really been focused on that because he's acting as a business side of, you know, the actual physical business that has to be done daily. That if you're an artist, I need to be working on my art, so I'm not going to be able to do that even if I could, and I'm not really that great at that. So we've been kind of going along so that you know, I wasn't with a record company, so I was out doing new music all the time. So to make a long story a little bit shorter, by the time we had this full shutdown, I had built up a lot of different areas of my career again, working steadily live in concerts, uh, um, uh, good recordings out, especially in the dance market because they've kept everything alive and moving and growing, the whole industry. And then when the whole shutdown came, one of the things that happened is Knight, very important DJ, started his quarantine session, and I just happened to be one of his people that he liked. So he kept me out there all the time. But at the same time, one of the recordings that I had done, because I keep doing things, and you're independent now, so you can do what you want to do. And, you know, I'm not signed to a label; I'm the label. They mixed it and put it together, and we signed a little agreement. So I knew it. I had a big hit, and they made me relevant because they're doing today's music. They're doing it in the DJ format, and on the internet. That's where all the traffic is. I just kept trying and you know, focusing on taking care of myself and my spirit and my voice, and staying in touch. And so whenever everything shut down, I was ready to go, but even though I was shut in.
Shut down, but shut in, but not shut down, right?
Yeah.
That's a good thing because now, for the most part, you're not able to get out and do shows, and live venues. And if you are, it's in front of a very small amount of people. So you have to have that way of being able to not only stay creative but survive because you still got bills that need to be paid and everything. So the fact that you've been able to make that adjustment because like the music industry now is like the McRib sandwich compared to what a real rib sandwich was back in the day when you started in the industry.
It's
Um,
very different. Yeah.
do you prefer it this way? Now that you have
Yeah.
more, of course, creative control over everything
Absolutely.
that you're doing.
Yeah. I guess what I've been trying to say is that since I've been growing and I am older, that I'm ready for what's going on now, and it's just fine.
That's
Yeah.
all.
That's awesome.
So in doing some research, I came across some clips, some video. You can find everything on YouTube.
Uh-oh.
And this is a great thing. If you have a chance, please go watch this. I didn't realize that you had your own television show back in the day, and I came across this clip of you and Gene Stapleton, who used to play Archie Bunker's wife.
I love those days. I love them.
And I watched that clip probably about, and I'm not exaggerating, probably about 8 times the other day. What in the world was going on
She
between?
was saying, Nina, you might not know this. You know Aretha Franklin's Rock Steady, right?
Yes, yes.
Yep. What it is?
Well, Archie Bunker's wife was singing the lead part.
Oh, whoa.
Wow,
And I was part of her backup singers.
wow.
Wow.
So, needless to say, it was a comedy skit.
Yes,
When's your
yes.
birthday? Not the year. When's your birthday?
You want to know what sign am I? Huh?
Yes.
Well, I'm a reformed Scorpio.
Because you know, it's like you had several opportunities to be defeated. Like it was
Right.
tricky to navigate from here
I get a
to
chance all the time, right?
here. You're not like really aggressive with it that we can see here, but it seems like no wasn't a bad thing for you.
No.
You found a way to make the no a yes, and you kept pushing, and it
Yeah.
paid off. So you
Yeah.
weren't afraid. Was it easier to
No,
navigate?
that's not true. It was
No.
a very, 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 very bad thing, and I was scared all the time,
Mm,
which is still go.
gotcha. Gotcha. I got one because I'm always like the girl part of the interview, the woman part. Um,
That's because
Oh,
you're
we
the
got
only woman on the team.
That's right. So, do you have children?
One daughter, yes.
One daughter. Cool. So, how was it for her with you being her mother? And how much, like, percentage of that were you actually able to spend with her? Because you move around.
A lot, but some things were very, very much missed, and they were terrible for her. And she's told me, especially recently. So part of shutdown for me is an opportunity to repent.
Mm, gotcha. Gotcha. And to move. Go
Well,
ahead.
to first of all, to show her I've been a mother. I've shown her by example that not only am I sorry, I will do differently. Especially maybe things, when you do things wrong, sometimes you don't know, but if somebody tells you,
Right.
now you stop and you take that in and you understand it and you think about it and you work on step by step fixing that if you can.
If you can. And
If you can.
my daughter's perception of me is different than what other people think of me, or even what I think of me. So to be able to be allowed to have those deep conversations now, I learn a lot, like how
Yes.
she saw it. And then she doesn't, I'm nowhere near the big deal you are, Miss Lady, but she doesn't think I'm a big deal at all. Like, mommy, go to the market. So it's different being one person out there in the world. And then
Some things never change.
right, nothing. She still calls me at work, all of that stuff. She is
Yeah,
the priority now.
yeah.
So I'm glad that
I'm trying to train her to be in charge. It's not that I'm not the parent anymore, but she's grown. And so I want to lead her into fullness and wholeness and show her that she deserves to be respected. I will set the example of respecting her, listening to her, um, telling her things that not only give her confidence, but, I'll tell her something and I'll tell her what I think the outcome is going to be. Not so I can say I told you so, but when she sees the proof of it, it belongs to her.
right, exactly. Was it easier navigating because you had a husband through the industry that you're in
My husband
with the
was a
business
gift. My husband was a gift from God.
directly?
But because of all the horror that he caused me, he's really a gift from God. Put it that way.
Right. Either way, like
Well,
everything.
what I'm saying is, once you kind of understand that family is the way God made it, He made family forever. So even if maybe you shouldn't be married, you shouldn't be together, you must, if you can, work at learning to forgive and restoring. You owe that to God for giving you life. That's what we celebrate, at Easter. That's why He came. We started celebrating Christmas. He came here to save us from the fall. We're all subject to this. And if you make Him first and you make Him your study, then He will show you, oh, I'm going to make these mistakes. Yes, 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 yes. And everybody's going to make them. Now, can you try to see from their point of view how you might be helpful in their lives, especially if you all have a daughter, so you're a family. What can you do for her? What can you do? Look beyond whatever it is you need. And you'll see each other different.
Some of the most uncomfortable things in our lives, even when we're in the moment, we don't know what the lesson is. But it had to happen for you to be at the next level of whatever your next adventure is going to be. So some things hurt, but throughout that hurt, because of him or because of that, now I know what I don't want to do, or what I don't want, or what I'm worth, or what to expect. So I get it.
Right.
A lot of people are single in that navigation in this industry, and I hear that you are referring to both of them, two husbands.
At least two husbands. I'm talking about two careers, two, two, um, two times where I lost my career.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
So with that happening, like, when did you get to the point where you said, I can trust again and continue on? trying to do this career?
To me, it's not quite that simple.
Okay.
Because what I've done is come away from, I'm really not in show business. I guess I'm in the church. I mean, that's my focus, because I can't even trust myself. So I'm trying to learn to trust God. That's my habit. And then he brings me in touch with people. So if he's going to be first, then I have more of an opportunity to be a little bit more successful in the growth process of seeing him in other people and judging, no matter how I feel, trying just to do what God said to do. And then eventually, especially if I'm not around people all the time so they can keep influencing me, give me an opportunity to grow in changing my feelings and my way and my point of way of doing things, and trying to get it more toward what God is telling me it should be, and more thinking more about him as a real person in my presence. Like, for instance, I've done it so many times, I can see him there at the cross. Oh my God, that's what it's about. Compared to me, it's nothing. And all of a sudden, it's easier for me to try to do what he said to do because he's real to me.
Awesome. I've got this thing where I'm like, God says, well, how long you been doing that? And is it working for you so far? So that's kind of like my checking back. Well, no, it's not. Okay, well, do it. Okay, gotcha. So those are my conversations that I've had.
There are conversations. Yes,
Those
it's
are
a communication.
conversations.
It's a relationship. Yes.
Now, as big as you were in your career, do you feel like you're serving a just as big purpose in church? You sing on the choir when we were open.
I can't sing in the choir. I guess what I'm called what you might call an apostle. I got to keep moving. So I have to be a church, at least a living stone. Now I'm Catholic, and I have a church that I've been able to go to many, many times. I can't join the choir. They don't know as much as I know.
And it would almost kind of be like cliche, like, oh, she's supposed to.
I don't know what they would be, but I've just accomplished all this stuff. I can't go back to kindergarten now.
No, but yeah, but what I'm saying is, because of your career and who you are, you go to a church and it's like, oh, she should sing on the choir, not realizing that God probably has a bigger calling or a bigger mission for you.
That's really it.
I stereotyped you.
Yeah.
I put you with the music.
It's just like, oh, she's
and I don't want to call it stereotype because it's just people being warm and loving and honest with you. But I'm also telling you what my decision and opinion is. I think because I've tried to join churches, it never works out. And so I understand that maybe because I came into this world that way and grew into being not alone, but on my own. And functioning that way, I always wanted to be a part of this, that, or the other in some kind of way. So I seem to be like a mixer or a fixer or somebody who brings something into the environment rather than just being part of it and stuck there.
I can't see you being stuck. How tall are you?
I'm little. I'm 5'5".
Well, what am I then? I'm 5'1".
Oh my God!
my wife.
You think aren't you?
I'm a miniature.
So
why are you so pretty? I mean, like, do you do anything?
Absolutely.
Oh, you want to share a secret?
Well, it's a whole lifestyle, but
okay.
Once again, God promises to restore you, but you got to work at it. You got to do what He tells you to do. So, like, I mean, for instance, food is very, very, very important. What I can tell you, what should be a cliche, most of the diseases that we have today
come from what you ate.
Yeah.
What you grew, where you bought it from, where you didn't grow it from. Oh, that's a whole story over here, Miss Moore.
You're telling it very well.
Right.
You should be on the radio.
Right.
She's stepping all on my toes right now.
Oh, sorry. What, do you eat badly?
What do you drink? Was that Kool-Aid you were drinking?
I kind of live by this philosophy where because of the amount of money that I pay in health insurance, I go to my doctor on a very regular basis. I get my checkups and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And when my doctor tells me that I'm okay, then that's the okay, that's the go button for me to keep doing what I'm doing. And it's not until my doctor tells me that I need to stop something, I need to stop eating something, I need to stop doing this, that, and the third, will I do it. And
Let
I
me
know
tell
that's
you something.
probably the wrong way,
Let me
but
tell you something, Antoine. Most doctors are not trained in nutrition. They're not trained in preventatives. They only can help you after you get sick. So to me,
yeah,
I don't want a doctor to play that role in my life.
I know.
And I've been very, 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 very sick a lot. And that's probably one of the things that taught me go to another source to find your
So
regimen so that you're okay before you get sick.
yeah. So with that being said, what are some of the other sources that you've tapped into to kind of take care of yourself from a health standpoint?
Well, I used to have allergies and asthma, and then I discovered, okay, well, you're not supposed to eat bread and butter, and of course we used back in the day, and when I say 2,000 years ago, bread and wine and water were the stuff, but you can't eat the bread because they messed up the grain and everything so much. With trying to make mega amounts of it, putting pesticides and stuff in it, and God knows what they put in once they make it. So I don't eat bread. I mean, if you're sick in general, you should not eat bread because of the starch and the flour and the things in it that are not good for us to eat. I don't eat ice cream anymore. I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink soda. Let me ask you this, y'all. Let me ask you this. What is Kool-Aid?
Something that you need aid for.
For the color that it's changing. But let me ask you this, on something totally different. Your voice today, just your natural voice, is totally different than it was, I'm sure, 20, 25 years ago. Talk a little bit about the training and the vocal coaching that you have to go through now, to just be able to continue doing what you're doing.
No, I did that in the beginning.
Okay.
Lots of training. What it is now is lifestyle. Certain things that you eat and drink will make your voice like that. I do it if I want to, because I'm mature and the vocal cords are thicker and whatever.
Yeah. She just got real people in it too. That was nice.
Sir.
Well, I can go up high too, like,
She broke my lamp. Wow.
But that's lifestyle. I don't have to work out every day or vocalize every day, as long as I eat right.
Gotcha. Mucus.
And the only reason that I asked that question is because, like I've been listening to R&B, like the 80s and 90s R&B is still my favorite. And like, just to be honest, there are some artists that could hit those notes that you just hit back then, and when you listen to them now, they sound like me and Nina. And I don't know if it's because of the lack of diet or the lack of training, but to listen to your new single that we're going to get into a little bit later, and to hear that you're still singing, pretty much at the level that you were X amount of years ago, I think is absolutely amazing.
It is, and that's what God wants for us. Excuse me for bringing the boss in, but you got to go find out what He wants for you. You have to make it a study. You have to make it a practice. You have to make it a lifestyle.
Okay, so as I segued into that, let's talk about this new single and the fact that you're still putting out new music in 2020.
Thank you. Oh, go ahead.
No, just talk a little bit about the new single, and let us know if this is leading up to something else bigger and better that you have coming in 2021.
Sure. Well, the single is called "Just You and Me," It is written and performed by keyboardist composer George Pettis. And when you hear the song, you hear this wonderful piano solo. He's the one who created the song and that original arrangement. And his wife Angela wrote the lyrics.
Okay.
And when I first heard it, I said, "Well, oh, I like that. Who is that?" But first of all, it had been so long since I heard it, and then I had not heard Terry Hunter's mix on it, so it's like totally different than what I had heard before. Um, and when I heard the lyric, and I listened to the meaning of it, of course, I said, "Well, that's very egocentric. It sounds like she thinks something about herself." And I said, "That's not like me," because it goes like, "Nobody else can do me better than I can. So just take me as I am." I sound like her, like you full of yourself, right? So, but what I realized is took me into their home. I spent time. George has a studio in his home, and he plays any instrument you feel like playing. So he's the whole band. So this is how they saw and heard and felt me. And they felt like, well, I could interpret it, but the first video I saw was of this beautiful young woman roller skating, like doing a dance on roller skates. And so what I said, "Oh, she's doing her." And the next video I saw was this beautiful young man. He was dancing with his arms and everything. He was in a wheelchair.
Wow.
And what I'm saying is these people are hearing this song for the first time. And in some cases, they probably didn't know who was singing it. So they loved the music, what it was saying, and they caught the spirit. So they were doing them. So I think that's the success of the song. I mean, I finally got a video done now too. Everybody else put their video out because I think they caught the spirit. I'm just doing me.
I'm just doing me. We
Yeah.
say that a lot. I do.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we definitely do. So it's going to take me a couple of keystrokes, but I want to get into this video. And I just want to thank you, man. Like you have certain people, and I might get in trouble for saying this, but I'm gonna just keep it real. You have certain people that are in the industry, and they haven't scratched the surface of your accomplishments. Let's just keep it real. And when you reach out to them for an interview or situation like this, they ask questions, and it's like, well, who are you? Why do you want to talk to me? Such and such and such and such. And I have to admit that from the very first time that I reached out to your manager, it's been nothing but love, and it's been nothing but
Thank you.
open arms, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then when you friended me on Facebook, I was like, oh, because you have a lot of people.
Your friend, for
right, because you have a lot of people who don't even monitor their social media, who aren't actually the ones that are on the social media stuff. And when I realized that it was really you, I was like, it's breathtaking in 2020 to have that humble spirit that's willing to reach out and not ask a thousand questions. Well, how many people do you reach, and so on and so forth. This is actually just our third episode of this show. We both come from other shows and situations that we've done. But the point that I'm trying to make is it's just been a very refreshing and humbling experience since day one, since we connected. And I just want to thank you for that. I really appreciate it. I wanted to say that at the end, but I kind of feel like I need to say that now because it just had me kind of thinking about some experiences and reaching out to other people.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's Ron and my pleasure to help people begin as well as come aboard once you've already been established. Somebody helped and helps. As many times as I fell down, I never got up by myself, I promise you.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's see if we can get into this video real quick. I'm gonna share the screen. And it's going to be.
Now that we're digital.
Yeah, now that we're digital, we can do stuff.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Can we hear it, Twan?
I don't know. Can you?
I
No.
can't. I can see it though.
That's all the way up. You can't hear it?
Not at
No.
all.
Okay. Well,
You don't know. I could have sung it with her or something. That was
no, we're
good.
not having you singing at all. And I have my volume all the way up, so we're just gonna shut that down. And I'll actually post the video at the end of the show
After, right?
on our page so that everybody can go and check it out. But with that being said, I do have a couple of more places that I want to go because, like I said, I did some research. When I saw the names of people that you have worked with, backup singing, I saw names like Frank Sinatra. I want to say, let me hold up. Let me go up to my list. Aretha Franklin, who's one of my all-time favorites. Talk a little bit about your experiences and just working with some legendary people, whether
Well,
it's been just in studio sessions or
well,
back singing. Talk a little bit about those experiences.
in studio sessions, we were done separately, so I wasn't on the stage with them singing backup. But with Miss Aretha Franklin, I got a chance to meet her, and I was a fan, in love with her. And I wouldn't go to see her in a concert if I was going to sing the next day because I couldn't help but hollering and screaming through the hall.
So you wouldn't have a voice left.
And I've had an opportunity to be with her and let her know that I love her so much. And she took that so nicely. She says, "What did she tell me one time?" She says, "I said something," but she said, "Well, she said something like, well, God is in the miracle making business. You know that, right?" She'll say things like that. And she's, of course, just such a woman of God. So I don't know. I just love her. Well, you wouldn't talk about Aretha. You told me to sing the backup with different people.
I mean,
I got lost.
just the experiences as a whole, just the experiences. Like I
Oh,
can't fathom being in the studio when I sometimes I say I wish I could just be a fly on the wall with some of my favorite singers and just be in the studio and just sit in the corner and just watch that magic work.
well, it was magical though. Still, knowing that you were singing and you were listening to the person, and they were singing. It was as close to next to being there with them. It was always very, very, very exciting. I remember working with people, not working, but being with people like Roberta Flack and being so excited. I'm trying to think of who else. So many people I've worked with Carol Burnett.
Wow.
I can't imagine. I mean, I see the pictures, but I can't imagine. Especially when I watched some of her old comedy shows. I was on her show doing that with her.
With Carol Burnett,
Yeah.
did you do the I'm so glad we've had this time together?
No, I'll let her do that by herself.
Right. Right.
But so many people, like you were saying, is it Gene Stapleton? People that are in totally different categories. Well, not really. I mean, we're both actors and everything, but I'm not a studied actor and didn't have like a consistent series like, say, somebody like Maureen Stapleton and some of the others. I have a picture here with Helen Hayes. I remember being in the company of, I worked with Pearl Bailey. We did a special at Kennedy Center, and Debbie Reynolds was going to come on after me. She said she didn't want to follow me. So she created this situation. I was singing a Barbara's, that's another story, at Pearlie. I looked up at my dressing room door and who was standing there but Barbara Streisand.
Wow.
I almost asphyxiated. She says, "Melba, how did you do that? Poorly? How do you?" That's exciting.
Yeah, that is. Like we feel about being here with you.
Well, I'm grateful.
That's a
Thank
big
you.
thing. I'm going to be able to tell my grandchildren that I spent a moment in your company. I just
Thank
took a
you.
picture of all of us. My dad's in the hospital. He'll be home soon.
Also,
COVID survivor. But now I can tell him when I call him tonight. I'm like, "Hey, Dad, guess who I was talking to tonight?" He's going to be like, "For real?" So yeah, this is a big thing for
yeah,
us.
it's the
Yeah.
same. It's the same. Yeah.
Living in the moment.
So
Yes.
so what does 2021 have in store for Melba
Oh,
Moore?
some more new music. I have a duet with the lead singer of a Canadian group called Crack of Dawn called uh, um, Solo Tiempo. Only time. I need more time. There's another song that I'm getting ready to go into studios called "Now That You Want Me Back," which is a remake of an old R&B song. A lot of different things. I'm going into the studio to do new stuff, but also um, George Pettis and Angela and Terry Hunter have another song from the album that Just Doing Me is from. So there's going to be a follow up to that song as well, and some just a concert, but what do you call virtual? Where you do it on camera
Mhm.
work. Yeah.
Please send me the link, or have your manager send me the link. I would love to tune in to that when you do the virtual concert. But here's a question, because I know that the song "Lean on Me" wasn't originally yours. That was originally supposed to be Aretha Franklin's, correct?
No, it was hers. Not
It
supposed to
was
be.
hers, and you
You felt like I took it from her.
right,
No,
right.
I
So
borrowed it from her.
right, so what is the one song that might have been brought to the table for you that you passed on, that somebody else ended up doing, and after the fact you were kind of like, man, I wish I would have taken that song?
No, it didn't happen that way. But there was a song that was first offered to Patti LaBelle. She turned it down, and I took it. And
Wow.
she told me later. She said, "This goes too fast for me. I still don't. I think it's great for you, but it's not for me. It's you stepped into my life."
Okay. Okay. Wow. And speaking of Patty, because she's one of my all-time favorites. If Only You Knew is like one of my favorite songs of all times. Um, Along with her, if she's one, who else may have inspired you to not only get into the business but continue to push after all of the things that you went through, business-wise and personal-wise in the business?
Well, I think the thing that made me push was being born again.
People just don't realize, man.
And what happened was like the time that I got evicted. First of all, I filed for welfare to try to pay my rent, but they don't want welfare recipients on Central Park South, so they still evicted me. And but during that time, the timing was just right for how things turned out. A gentleman by the name of Michael Matthews, who created the genre of gospel musicals, called me to come out on the road with him. So even though I was homeless, I was employed, and he did what we call chiddling. He paid you in cash. So I didn't even have a bank account. I had to file bankruptcy. But my brothers and sisters were saved in that show, and they showed me how to do money orders and stuff in the post office to do my business, and how to save my money and put it away because I didn't have a bank account. They showed me how to do it on the road, but they were saved. They showed me God's way. So I learned a new system of finance, new system of prosperity. You know, when God says give, it'll be given to you. I study that. And so I'm getting ready to be very wealthy.
I feel like you just claimed that.
Oh no, I've been walking in it.
Okay.
You see it unfolding now.
Yeah. Yeah. So during your time, you've done many duets. Is there any one person that you would either like to work with in the future, or someone that may not be with us any longer that you wish that you could have worked with?
You know who I want to do something with?
Me.
You say you didn't sing. No,
I'll gladly take the opportunity.
I'd like to do something with Stephanie Mills.
If y'all could do a remake of Home together.
No, no,
No, I'm just saying as a personal favorite.
no, no, because that's her song.
Yeah.
That's like asking her to do Lean on Me. No,
Right.
we'll find something new
Right.
that both of us
Right.
can do.
Right. I get you.
That's hers. Got to keep that.
Mm.
And I keep mine. But I think we should find something new to do.
I
And
mean,
her voice is, very, it's very warm and mellow, and she's not an alto, but she's warmer, and she's much more rhythmic than I am. And I'll soar all of every place and everything, and we come in together somewhere. That's what I think.
I understood. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking some time to just hang out with us this evening. This has truly been an honor for me. Like I've done enough research where I could probably talk to you for about another 2 hours, honestly. But I know that you're very busy, and this time of year we all have things to do. But I just want to again thank you so much, and I just want to wish you and your family nothing but the best of love and health and everything as we going into this holiday season, and as we continue to go into this these days of uncertainty and not knowing what the future holds. And
Well,
we got
one thing, we'll hold each other up, please.
absolutely, and I will definitely continue to hold you up because I definitely appreciate everything you've done. But if you just want to give some words of love or some words of wisdom to end this, it'll definitely be appreciated.
I think that we three are a perfect example of what being in the moment now does for creating good, wholesome future. You come together, you get to know each other, you share the things that are important to each other, and you make it happen. Now go on the internet and let them see it because it's love. Oh, she got the microphone.
I was giving Twan
Take the microphone.
to let you go, and I won't. I'll be like, you didn't let me tell her.
I was gonna let you say your outro, Nina.
My outro, Miss Melba Moore, and all of your marvelousity. I made that up just for you. Like you never, if you touch one person, you have done your job. You have touched a lot of lives. From then up until now, right down to our show. So I really sincerely want you to know how grateful that we are to have this opportunity to speak with someone such as yourself and your soul. I feel your soul. That's important to me. You're more than what the world thinks you are. You are a person that cares and has fallen down several times, but gotten up stronger every time. So that's motivation for myself, being a beautiful woman of color, to see one doing it for years, longevity. I wish that for us. I wish the very best for you and your family. And if you ever need anything, you never know what you need.
You never
But we're
know.
in Baltimore.
Yes.
If she ever comes this
I love
way,
Come
it.
anywhere close to this.
Seafood.
Yeah, yeah. We can have
I'm
some
done with
peanuts.
crabs, baby.
Oh, crabs. Oh, lifestyle change.
all right, stop, hold on.
That's
I
good for you.
if
Well,
you
too much cholesterol, not good, but
Yeah,
seafood.
Right.
you
We
know
can look
what
at
they have,
goldfish.
but they have these thing called cheat days.
Oh
Uh-oh.
yeah.
I used to have. I can't. I'm too old to do that
No,
anymore.
no,
You kill me.
no, I'm going to stop you right there because I guarantee you that if you ever come to Baltimore, I am going to treat you to the biggest cheat day of seafood that you have ever had. I
Seafood.
Yeah, they
promise.
That's.
do that. Baltimore seafood. They
I
love it.
know, but that's not cheating.
Seafood is good for you.
Yeah.
It's the sauces and stuff y'all be doing that's called extra.
I got a, I got a,
Right.
I got a ton of crab cake places I can take you, and my wife makes an absolutely amazing. What do you call it?
What?
Crab boil.
Yeah, that's what I
Oh,
was thinking because that has the
oh, you can
vegetables
eat
in
a
it, the
ton of that
corn.
boiled.
Yeah.
Ain't even
What?
no grease in it.
It has
No,
potatoes, it has shrimp, it has crab legs, it has
corn on the
corn.
cob,
Okay, I'm coming.
sausage.
Crawfish.
So
Twan, Twan is like 6 foot, what, 4? How tall?
6'4".
See, this, so you're 5'5". If you stood next to him, that look crazy too. So that's why I'm liking this digital now. I don't have to stand next to
Taller
him.
than my wife, so it wouldn't look
Right,
that
right,
crazy.
right,
But
right.
I promise you, if you ever come to the Baltimore, DC, if you ever come to the DMV, I will personally pick you up and
His
treat you.
job. Right,
Just
Tell Ron, because he's going to make sure it happens.
I,
right.
I will inbox, I will
Let me
email
put
Ron
it
as soon
there.
as we're finished, and I will We will have a plethora of a day of seafood
Plethora.
cheating. I got you.
I'm gonna bring my bib.
Yeah, you're gonna need it.
And
Really, really quickly.
this is the
Because it's the
seafood
holiday
capital, so we
season.
might just have to make a day of it. We might have to visit 3 or 4 spots within a day. So
That sounds like a lot.
that's
So really quickly, because we do have the holiday season upon us, are you looking forward to anything, doing anything in this season?
Well, on the 9th of January, I go into the studio to do one of the recordings and the video.
Personally.
Yeah,
Personally.
yeah.
No.
But it's
no, not
engineer.
business wise, not
Not
music wise.
professionally.
What are you looking forward to doing
Right.
for you?
On me personally.
Personally.
You.
You.
Actually, you know what?
What?
Wow. You know, Christmas comes on a Friday this year.
Right.
It has to be cataclysmically important because the Friday is the day that he died.
Mm.
So we're looking. Eyes wide open.
So yes. So what I think is happening to those of us who believe and respect and pay attention to what he's saying, he's been making us new creatures, and you know everything has come to a halt. I don't think he made it come to a halt, but he allowed us to go as far as we could go until everything is dying.
I believe he made it come to a halt.
This feels like halt.
If he halted it, then it's out of his mercy. So we couldn't do any more damage to ourselves.
Right.
And I think because we're paying attention, I don't know what's going to happen, only he knows. But I believe because he's showing us the day that he came here from heaven to be born on the same day that he died, it's got to be the completion of something that he's done that we'll experience. So I know his will is for us to be in his greatness. So it's going to be something great for those of us who are paying attention.
Right. Keyword.
Nobody told me that it was important that his birthday came on the day that he died this year.
You're paying attention.
Well, I think he told me. So I'm paying attention. I'm not just paying attention, I'm paying attention to him.
Right.
And he's giving me you to at least share that. And that's just on a personal, when whoever hears it, God bless it. It's not just personal. Everything is personal. I don't care whether you want it to be or not. But if we take him personally, I think we've got something great in store.
Then we'll find out who we are as people.
And it'll be a good thing.
And it will be.
So just one more before, and this is a 2-part question before we let you go. Have you ever done gospel? And if not, would you ever consider doing like a gospel project?
I have a gospel CD called there's a song on it called "I'm Still Here," which was written for me by Shirley Murdoch, and it's a duet. That's ridiculous, right? You got to go listen to that. That's ridiculous.
I have to.
Shirley Murdoch is ridiculous.
That my Shirley Murdoch song is "As We Lay." As soon as you said that, that's what I thought about. But yeah. But I noticed she did do some gospel stuff, but I didn't.
No. She is gospel. She was able to sing "As We Lay" because she is gospel.
But I didn't know that you two had done anything together. I will definitely check that out.
I know because I'm not popular so much for that, but I have actually the way that I was able to survive everything is that my base is the church. I mean, so I wouldn't call it performing. I should call it ministry.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, he owns everything. So.
Yep.
Yeah. I sang on a choir and I sang on a praise team and I direct the men's choir at my church, and I never look at it as singing or directing. It's totally ministry. Even if it's at a point where I'm just ministering to myself. Because it's funny, I started doing this some years ago, and up until I started, I didn't know any gospel music except for like the very super popular stuff. Mm-hmm. And as I got into doing this, I of course started learning more and more music, and it's amazing the feeling that you get when you're singing or you're directing a song, and that song is talking directly to you. Like my wife can tell you, one of the choirs we sang "For Every Mountain," And every time we sang that song, half the choir is gone and crying halfway through the song because it just touched the soul so much.
Because of how you sound?
No, because of the way that song ministers to you.
Oh, okay.
See, you probably don't know the song. That's why you tried to go
I
there.
don't know. All these years, I've never heard you sing. I know you sing, but I've never heard
When we
it.
come back up next year, Nino.
All right.
But no, for Every Mountain is one of those songs that if you listen to the words of that song, and we have a lead singer that absolutely tears the song up, but just the words to that song, when you've gone through so much and God has brought you over so many things,
Right.
that's one of those songs that our choir just absolutely, like I said, about halfway through the song, like half the choir is crying,
You go in, right?
walking around. I actually directed that song one time when we went to a visiting church, and our lead singer just took off running around the church because the Spirit just hit us so hard. Like you never realize until you're actually listening to those songs or singing and directing, in my case, how those songs really minister to you.
Right. Because they're not just a song.
Right. Right. And it wasn't until I started getting into it from that standpoint that I realized that, hey, this is more than just music to me. So yeah. I get you 1,000% on that.
Right. But I do know, I would say, of course, to me, whatever he allows me to do, that's my ministry. But we have the categories, and so I'm not, a gospel singer.
Yeah.
For professional.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, again, we definitely.
Time of the year. That was me singing. That's all I know.
Yeah. We're not going to have Nina on the choir anytime soon. But I love you, Nina.
It's always somebody on the choir that can't sing, but they're loud. They give you what you need.
Presence.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes, you know what? And it's funny that you say that, Nina, because I always reach out to men to come join the choir. And one of the first things that they will say is that I can't sing.
I say that.
I feel like if you get a group of men together that understand that it's ministry and understand the purpose that they're up there for, God gonna find a way to make that sound good.
Well, he's the one who makes it good, but now you get down to the bare bones.
He's gonna find a way to make it sound good. And
God said, "Prove me."
Yeah. We can have a choir of 20 men and only 5 of us can sing, but if we're doing it for the right reason, it'll sound like the Fred Hammond choir up there, or so on and so forth. Yeah, but again, we're not going to keep you any longer because again, it's getting late and we know you have other things to do. But we truly are so humbled and thankful that you took some time out of your evening.
Thank you.
Congratulations on everything that you have coming up. And we just pray that God continues to bless you and everything that you have going forward. And again, don't forget to send us the link when it's time for the virtual concert, because I will definitely be tuned in. And I'm looking.
Make sure you get with Ron for that.
Okay, I got you. And again, kudos to Ron because he's really been very helpful in putting this together. And I'm just the best of holiday greetings to you and your family, and continue to stay safe. We love you and we appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for having me, both of you. Bless you.
Anytime. If you want to come back next week and talk to us some more, just let me know. We'll make it happen again.
Thank you.
Ho, ho, ho.
All right. Thank you so much.
Happy holidays. Thank you very much.
Bless you.
Honored.
Beyond honored. Wow,
it's the most wonderful. You did it, Twan. You did it. Yay. Look what he got.
Joe Storm. Hey, look, man. Let me tell you, we've like I said in the beginning, man, we've done some interviews together. Joe, can you get your arm out the way, bro? Do you see how this looks on national television?
I was trying to tie the hair on his arm with my teeth.
Did we just go off camera? Come on, Joe. I need it on camera, bro. God, I'm hating right now because of they got you on the with the Christmas lights and the snow falling.
You making a mess.
I'm really hating right now.
Don't hate.
Snoopy on the doghouse with the snow falling and the Christmas lights.
You're not even supposed to say that.
Joe, I'm gonna be hitting you up. I'm gonna be hitting you up.
Here we go.
Hitting you up sometime soon to learn how to do that, man. But
To hit him too.
no, hitting him up meaning getting in contact, not physically hitting him, Nina.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Where's your microphone? Get back on the microphone.
Joe Storm Productions.
DMV, please, DJ in the building.
I'm gonna get on one of his 12 go lives a day, and I'm gonna take the mic. Here we go. She was so easy to love. She was an auntie for real.
Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, I knew it was gonna be like that just because of the interactions that we've had on Facebook chat or however over the past few days. It's just kind of like, yeah, you're talking to your auntie.
That's the comfort. That's why you were okay.
Yeah, it was. So
Juan, what you been drinking in them glasses? I've been saying like mason jars and stuff. Is that
this is actually a wine glass. Let me tell you. First of all, before we even go into that, if you're still tuned in with us, man, make sure you guys check out my girl Tipsy Fiend, whose information is going at the bottom of the screen right now. If you log on to tipsyfiend.com, you put in your orders. When you go to the checkout, there's a discount code. And if you type in access granted, you get $5 off of
$5.
$5 off of
$5 exclusive. Tis the season.
Off of a Tipsy Fiend drink, man, is like 50% off a pair of Timberlands.
It is so hard for me to keep still.
Yeah. So again, man, continue support to my family. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to have the services and everything for my uncle until well into the new year because he's a veteran, and it's very hard to get into the veteran cemeteries at this time. But his birthday is December the 30th, man, and we're gonna get together and we're gonna party for him on his birthday. Again, rest in peace to Ecstasy from Houdini, man, legendary hip hop. How many of us have him?
How many of us have?
My friend.
I have a special shout out to DJ Mike Casanova. Special shout out. So he posted something like he got blessed, so he wanted to be a blessing for a small child, and it reminded me of our prior years, how we got together to make people's holidays and Christmases a little better for some people that really needed help. So I thought of you when we did the thing today. So I got hooked up with another kid and he did something great.
Yeah, I did a little something this year. My girl Jamae Burks, who is the founder of who's the founder of Bro Code. She hit me up last week and asked me if I wanted to adopt a child for Christmas. So I adopted a 6-year-old and went and did some Christmas shopping for him. And I think they gave all of that stuff out yesterday. It's always important to be a blessing to somebody this time of year.
Exactly. That's what this is.
I'm not going to say that I have everything that I want in the world, but I have enough that I can definitely be a blessing to somebody that's doesn't have or is just a little bit less fortunate, especially during these times, man, because you have so many people that have lost jobs or
laid off, no jobs,
or the unemployment is taking 45 years because the system and everything is so backed up. So that was important for me to give, and that was kind of a little something that I did under the radar. And just shout out to Jamae. She went live yesterday from the center and showed the amount of stuff that they had, and it was absolutely incredible the way that Baltimore showed up and showed out for that. So
awesome,
yeah, man. Just you know how we do.
Keep giving. Tis the season to give.
So I do want to say real quick, we do have a show scheduled for this Monday, the 28th. We have my man Martin Wilson, who's going to come on. He's a former member of the gospel group, the Choir Boys, and I think I mentioned to you earlier that he used to play guitar for Patti LaBelle and all of this kind of stuff. Quite an interesting journey through the industry behind the scenes. We're going to talk a little bit about that with him. And then I know
you said Monday?
Yeah, Monday the 28th.
When do the people want access granted be off? Is that a holiday?
On the days that we're not working. No, it's not a holiday. And then
Okay.
we're gonna get together on, I believe the date is January the 13th or whatever that second Wednesday is in January. We have my man Charlie Chew Smith, who used to be a member of the Harlem Globetrotters. He's here in Baltimore with his Chew Foundation doing some great things. We're going to talk to him. And then we're continuing to work on making some things happen because we have some really ginormous plans coming up in
My
20.
arms don't reach that far.
Well, your
You
arms
reach the whole length of the sofa.
yeah, stop playing. My sofa like 18 feet long. I can't.
Yep, that's about right. Okay.
But anyway, man, we're gonna get out of here. We appreciate
We
everybody.
got one more thing before you leave. Be sure to like and follow the Access Granted Facebook page so
Yes.
that you get all the updates, all the upcoming show information, follow-ups on past guests that we've been talking to. Of course, information, music, and whatever else we got laying down. And me and Twan, we be playing and stuff. So we'll be there. Like and share that page.
And at some point, we're probably going to be doing a live from that page. But that when we get up around 1,000 like part, we'll start doing it.
We
But
got
we
the
had
YouTube. Subscribe to the
we have
YouTube.
like
page.
200 likes in 2 days, so I think we're well on our way. And yes, there is an Access Granted. It's actually Access Granted the show YouTube channel. So go and subscribe there, man. I don't even know what the big things are yet, but I know we got some big stuff in store. So make sure y'all keep
Us. The fact that me and you in the same square, that's like big because that means it could go anywhere. Like we be doing stuff. We just tag team Melba Moore. That's awesome. I couldn't have did that by myself.
Hey, I couldn't have did it without you, baby.
Right. We got this.
'Cause they was-
Wishing you and yours a very wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas and
New Year.
everything great. Access
we'll be
granted.
back right before the new year. So yeah, we'll just say Merry Christmas for now, man. But everybody enjoy your holiday. Stay safe, and we'll see you guys next week. Access granted. We are out. Hey Nino,
So
love you like a play cousin. Look at the shirt.
that's right.
Doom.
When you doing
All right.
OP, I'm acting like Melba Moore. OP.
So,
All right, y'all.
Goodbye. We out of here, man. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
For the cut.